chance for Amar. A toss back from Sakta. What a hit with the avalanche shots combination, bringing everybody low, and Tunter just got to clean through the OG heroes.
Oh man, what an arrow to stop that epicenter. So much damage negated in the fight. OG cannot clean it up. I'm not sure they were going to be close with that rate pack down and hook already on this Visage, but absolute disaster. BZM just getting his mana burned on the jump too. He just remnants straight into birds, and Skeeter sitting there.
Radiant's bottom tower is under attack. Radiant's bottom tower has fallen. Dire's middle tower is under attack. Radiant's bottom tower is under attack. Dire's middle tower has fallen. Dire's middle tower is under attack.
Allies disappear. Regeneration.
Dire's bottom tower is under attack. Dire's bottom tower has fallen. Dire's Dire's middle tower is under attack. Dire's structures are fortified. Dire's middle tower has fallen. Dire's middle barracks is fallen. Dire's middle barracks is fallen.
Shadows take us.
Dire's top tower is under attack.
GG's goal.
Tundra Esports. Victory!
Nice one.
Much. That was a very dominant performance in the opening game of the series, Thunder versus OG. And at some point, when watching the games, I was like, why does this Morphling not have anything? Why did that Morphling not have anything?
I mean, it's the laning stage. They were. Sorry, it's my fault that they lost. No, it's this position for Tiny that did like. I thought the hero was going to fall off a little bit after the recent changes, but then people figured out, we're going to take the tree grab level 1 and be able to
You can lane.
Yeah, you
You're
can
not useless.
actually lane. You don't need to use as much mana as you did before, where you went for Toss and the Avalanche, and also this is super strong laner. Like Morphling, you need to be very careful how you're going to approach. And one thing I always liked about 33 as a player is all the small items that he buys. Like he's just gonna buy every possible small item in the lane to be able to just win that lane and snowball, because he knows that most of the time he's playing those zoo heroes and will give them momentum.
Yeah,
Honestly, I'm just so impressed that a team with a position 5 Murano won so convincingly, right? Because I feel like this hero in the hands of another team in the first phase as the hard support would not have looked like that. So also an incredibly impressive performance from Snaking. He was hitting the arrows without any setup. There was that really cool epicenter cancel in the bottom jungle fight where he basically just won the fight for his team. So really good stuff coming out there. It was just, for me, I could simplify this game to a very simple concept, which is the only anti-Zoo hero, or the hero they were dependent on entirely, on the side of OG to kind of stabilize them and fight back in this game for them was the Sand King. And Tundra just focused all of their early game resources, all of their rotations to going down to Sand King's lane, killing Amar over and over and chasing him into the triangle at minute 8. I'm sure maybe they got a return kill or two, but it just was not enough. That Sand King didn't come online early enough, and Visage was just able to take the entire map.
I totally agree. That's the exact thing that I was looking at as well. I don't know if it's a Sand King thing or if it's an Amar thing that Tundra was looking to punish, but the way that OG likes to play Amar on this Sand King is they stack Ancients for him, they stack the hard camp for him, and he plays as a carry, farming those stacks to get his Blink Dagger. So they contested the Ancients, and he was so salty about that he epied them while the Ancients while Tundra was there contesting it. And
I don't care, I hit creep.
Exactly.
Amar right there.
And then he goes for the recovery play of sitting in the safe lane and defending the tower for as long as possible to get the blink, which is what you do on Sand King to get the blink usually if you don't have Ancient stacks. And Snaking was there already with the sentry. So it's like Tundra was just like, okay, if we punish Amar with this Sand King strategy, don't let him get the blink dagger, we're going to snowball on them. And they did. They were right.
Yeah, they also focused, Tundra focused on Amar in the ban phase as well to make sure that there was not really that
Give him
many.
the Sand King, punish it.
Sand King is like, okay, we can deal with the Sand King, you know, maybe you don't want to face the Razor, the Timber, or the Mars, just remove those, and you got a manageable Amar hero, which is not always an easy thing to do, but it felt like Tundra had a very easy game. Do want to also take it back a little bit to the draft, because we did open with the Crystal Maiden Ember on the side of OG Lacoste, and that's fairly unusual, first of all, to have Crystal Maiden first pick, but also instantly with that Ember, it didn't feel like that really had a big impact for them in that game.
Definitely not. I mean, if you just look at the win rate of the certain heroes, like Crystal Maiden, yeah, she's really up there, but the Ember Spirit, like this hero always pops up when the games like really matter, and I feel like he tends to underperform as a hero. I don't think it's specific to like players playing it, because you know it's BZM, he definitely knows how to play the hero. It's just something about the hero at the moment that doesn't feel as good to play. Like other spirits definitely feel much better.
I think Quinn pointed something out during the game that was pretty interesting about like Ember versus Tusk, and the fact that if the game is kind of like stagnant and both teams are just farming, Ember sits in a lane and just constantly sleight of fist whoever's there, and then pushes the creep wave out too now, because the hero damage and the creep damage is the same. So that's really beneficial for Ember to be playing in a stagnant game, and Tundra did not give that to them. They were constantly contesting, constantly running in and taking the farm from the other jungle and not their own. So it's like a game like that just doesn't favor Ember, and I think the reason we see a trend that Ember falls off around TI is because there's a lot of 5-manning and running around in aggression at TI.
Yeah, it is back to the drawing board for OG, of course, after that first game. It gives us a little bit of a breather as well, and we're going to have an extra bit of a breather with Slacks and Casey.
Oh, I don't know about a breather. Dude.
Hey guys, how's it going?
Hello. So Slacks had a really good idea for a bit, but before you explain it, I have to draw.
All right, go ahead.
I have to draw attention to something.
Yeah?
Did you pee your pants?
No, I'm not a little pee-pee boy. I was watching the game and I got excited. I didn't think it would be such a stomp. Real excited. No, I did a Dota capitalist, you know, and what the water bottle deal. It was a bad move, but it's exciting over here. Very humid as well.
Yeah. So we thought it would be cool to talk to the people sitting in these two seats.
These two seats. Now, you guys at home might not know how close the audience is to the stage. I am literally walking on it. This is illegal. Don't do this, you people in the crowd. But you are this close, yet no one has decided to take what I call the Thunderdome seats. These mother suckers, you can almost touch a pro player. It's incredible.
Please don't touch them.
Don't touch them. No, they have many diseases. But at the end, anyway, we thought we would find the two biggest fans in the arena for OG and Tundra, and they don't have to sit here. Don't worry. I forgot about the bit. We weren't supposed to tell them about that, but don't worry about it. All right, I'm gonna go find a Tundra fan. All right. Okay. Where's a Tundra fan? Oh, In fact, the jersey, right? Yeah, turn it. Okay, real fan right there.
It's the jersey he wear on J-Store. It's his jersey.
This is actually his jersey. His skin was in this.
Yes, his sweat.
How did you know that? How did you get your hands on this?
I will show you Nine's older brother.
Oh!
Hi, guys.
What do you think about your younger bro?
I don't know. I'm sitting here right now, so I think he reached the first step of his dream.
Oh, okay. Well, that's beautiful. Thank you.
Yeah, and I can be here too.
Oh.
Very funny.
All right, that's getting too emotional for me. Get your ass up. We're gonna put you in the front right here, my friend. Well, I'm the biggest Thunder fan. Whack it up. Get to your seat.
Okay, we gotta play fair here. Now we need to get the biggest OG fan in the house. Oh, over here.
Fair weather fans, my God.
Your scarf is upside down. Otherwise, it looks great. Can you turn it up? Excuse me. Pardon me.
Oh yeah.
No, get out of my way.
Run, Casey.
Get out of my. Oh, excuse me.
That's
Pardon
a
me.
very.
Excuse me.
She went the hard
Excuse
route.
me. Pardon me.
Okay, there you
Sorry.
go.
Excuse me. Pardon me. Excuse me. Pardon me. Pardon me. Excuse me. Sir, your name.
Lindsay.
And how long have you been a
big OG fan?
Since the beginning, since Monkey Business.
What do you think about this squad's chances this year?
I think they have a lot of talent. You know, they might be a bit nervous, they're a bit young, but I think they can persevere and they can really get going.
Think we're gonna push it to a game 3?
Definitely.
All right. Are you willing to sit next to a fan of not OG? Because you're sitting by all OG.
Yeah, let's bring it.
Yeah! Come on!
Give it up, OG lovers!
Come on up here. Watch your step. Oh my God, you're taller than I thought. I turned around like, let's go. Oh, hello. Jeez. All right. Okay.
All right. International friendship.
All right. Sit down. Sit down. Can we see a friendly handshake?
Yes! Don't move for the rest of the day. You two are standing right here. All right. Look at that. The community coming together, being BFFs.
I'm sorry for this whole crowd. I picked the tallest man to sit in the front seat. We will. Can you scooch down? Just thank you.
There you go.
Your turn to ban. Five seconds remaining. Pick. Seconds remaining. 5 seconds remaining.
Lock, stock, and barrel. This one's in the back.
Prepare for battle.
My spotter guides me. Of course. Of course. Spotted. Aha.
30 seconds to battle.
Aha. Hero. Gunpowder justice. Attack!
The battle begins.
I'm under attack! Time for target practice. Yes. Run and gun! As you say. Sure is shooting. Yes. Yeah. Denied. Into the breach. Quick draw. You die. Yes. Full bore. That's gonna sting. Uh-huh. Giddy up. Going ballistic. Trick shot. Shoot him up! Shrapnel! I'm under attack! Yes! Snipe hunt! My spotter directs. Higher caliber! Yeah! Into the breach! Go for that. Take this! Center. Oh! Of course.
structures are fortified.
Of course. Spotted. On target. No. Shoot him up. Body shot. Quick draw. Oh! Aha! Yes. Target practice. Yep, no. Yes. Spotted. Of course. Run and gun. It's like a shot. Take this. Line of sight. Oh! My ace is dying. That was your warning shot. Uh-huh. Gunpowder shots. Full bore. Sniping. Snipe hunt. Of course. No. Yes. Into the breach. Spot on. Yeah. Yeah. Sure is shooting.
The enemy's top tower has fallen.
Full bullets. Spotted. Of course.
Radiant structures are fortified.
You're not afraid of spiders. We can see eye to eye. I spotted that.
Aster guides me.
The enemy's bottom tower has fallen.
Invisibility.
Could be worse. Mark.
Another shot at victory. Going ballistic.
Your middle tower is under attack.
Yes. Line of sight.
Your middle tower is under attack.
Trick shot. Yes. As you say. Let's have a go at it.
That wasn't nice.
The enemy's middle tower has fallen.
Don't shoot. It's me. Ah. Yes.
Completed.
Uh-huh. Yes. Yes? Double damage! Sure is shooting. Now! Snake hunt! My spotter direct. Oh! Ah! Yes. Spot on. Yes. Of course. Sure is shooting. Yes. Take this. Snake hunt. I spotted direct.
Your top tower is under attack.
Sniping.
Your top tower is under attack. Radiant structures are fortified. Your top tower is under attack.
Stay healthy, stay moving.
Spotted. Aha! Yeah. Run and gun. As you say. Aha. Yes. Into the breach. Uh-huh. This way.
Your middle tower is under attack.
needs me. You make a great bullet catcher. Mm-hmm. Run and gun! Take this!
The enemy's top tower has fallen.
As you say.
Radiant structures are fortified.
Sure is shooting.
The enemy's bottom tower has fallen.
Easy as shooting that.
enemy's middle barracks has fallen. Under attack. The enemy's middle barracks has fallen.
Yes? Full bore! Pocket full of bullets. Eat lead. This'll hurt. As you say. Sure is shooting. Line of sight. Let's have a go at it. Of course. My spotter guides me. Invisibility. Yes. Spot on. Aha. Easy job.
The enemy's middle tower has fallen. The enemy's middle tower has fallen.
Just what I was waiting for.
Dire victory.
This Primal Beast just dies so quickly whenever Skeeter's in that. I wonder if he should build some sort of armor on him. I mean, he's only got 6 base armor.
Yeah, he might need a plate mail, or maybe he just needs to come in late and not be the one getting beat down by the snakes. I mean, this whole fighting situation here, I think, maybe there's an element of people who played at TI several times versus some new players. I think BZM, not getting the PKB off and being slightly out of range with the Oracle. There's a lot of like little small things there that are slightly this.
With the shard. Those fights helping him. OG want to keep the pace up, looking for 33.
The Birds are going to...
Radiant's bottom tower is under attack.
We are coin. Go.
Dire's middle tower is under attack. Dire's structures are fortified. Radiant are scanning. Dire's middle tower is under attack. Radiant's bottom tower is under attack. Dire's middle tower is under attack. Dire's middle tower has fallen. Radiant's bottom tower is under attack. Dire's middle tower is under attack. Radiant's bottom tower is under attack. Radiant's bottom tower has fallen. Dire's top tower is under attack. Radiant's bottom tower is under attack.
Another put down.
My neighbor is also.
For that moment. Radiant's top tower is under attack. Radiant's top tower has fallen. Dire are scanning. Radiant's bottom tower is under attack.
Gold for me. Yes.
Dire are scanning. Dire's top tower is under attack. Dire's top tower is under attack.
Monster kill.
Radiant's middle tower is under attack. Radiant's bottom tower has fallen. Radiant's bottom barracks are under attack. Radiant structures are fortified. Radiant's bottom barracks are under attack. Radiant's middle tower is under Radiant's middle tower is falling. Radiant's ancient is under attack.
Yes.
Radiant are scanning. Dire are scanning. Radiant's top tower is under attack.
Illusion. Radiant's middle tower is under attack.
Tundra Esports. Victory!
who were able to hit their stride, get a couple of items on the Lifestealer, and enough on the Spirit Breaker to run around without Agnes. They were just infest bombing all over the place, and they completely out-tempoed OG. I mean, it was just so difficult to watch, but I really have to praise them for bringing it back to the Spirit Breaker. Jenkins, you were telling me in the green room.
I'm glad that they weren't afraid to go back to what their comfort is. I think they prepared very nicely for the Oracle that was going to come out from OG, and they were thinking, you know, we enjoy playing the Spirit Breaker. Maybe it's not the best patch for it, but it looked like an amazing counter. And I really like what Quinn said during the game. He said that 9 is just kind of silently carrying the game. We're like, yeah, sure, he's not doing the craziest amount of damage or something because he's an SB. But in every single fight, he was on the right hero. He was finding the pickoffs on Yuragi as well on a PL, which is not the easiest thing to do. Very patient with his charges. And also, the players played very well, but I do want to say that I think Aoi has this idea against Timbersaw that allowed it to go all the way through the draft and be countered. And it's very simple. You just ignore him. You just don't go to the Timbers lane. Skitter went mid on Lifestealer, completely dodging the lane, and they just ignored him in fights and waited until the point where they could kill him before they tried to kill him. They didn't fall into this trap that other teams fall into, which is trying to kill the Timber.
Yeah, well, they made sure that they were able to deal with that for sure. During that game, you also might have at some point caught some team fights here and there, but trying to get the true sight feel during TI. And we got another clip for you here as we listen to what the teams have to say to each other during a fight.
I'll TP for top of my team. Super. Yeah, I can. Wants to charge.
In the lane, they just ignored him in fights and waited until the point where they could kill him before they tried to kill him. They didn't fall into this trap that other teams fall into, which is trying to kill the Timber.
Take us up, take us up. I don't like, please. I don't like, shake so much. I die.
To me, it's very impressive to know that during a fight, there's 5 players, everybody's pressing their own buttons, having their own thoughts about everything that's going on, and for me as a viewer, it's always fairly hectic, and then the comms are calm. There's like 2 people talking. Everybody's just doing what they're supposed to.
That's how it has to be, though. Like, that's always the thing, is you think that there's some, like, crazy stuff going on because these players are the best of the best, but then when you hear it, like, I remember, I think Boom released their audio on YouTube, and you hear it, and it's just, it's so succinct, and they're saying only what's necessary, and that's why these are the best teams. It's because they can communicate only the important information. Earthshaker's top in the middle of the fight. Earthshaker's top, but I'm gonna die if I dive. Okay, everybody leaves, right?
Give them important information without talking too much.
Yeah,
it's impressive.
Important.
And everybody trusting that when Amar says, I'm not going in, nobody said, oh, but, no, everybody just goes back.
Yeah, they trust him, exactly.
Yeah, there's a lot of trust. There's also a lot of trust, of course, on the side of Tundra. Trust in their captain, Snaking, who is standing by with Casey right now.
Snaking, congratulations!
Thank you so much.
I am so impressed with the consistency of this team. You had a strong DPC season. You did not lose a single series in group stage. You either tied or won, and now you've 2-0'd OG, another strong team. I read that you have said this is the best boot camp you've ever done. How much of a difference has the mental preparation made in all of this?
I think we've always been a very strong team, and I think our biggest challenge was our own mentality, and like losing games and be able to recover from it was something that our team was not very good at. Myself included, who's the veteran in this game, it can be really tough, especially when the mood is down and no one's able to pick it up. That is something that I've been looking into helping the team, and that's why we also have a psychologist who's also been helping us with that, and I think it has really helped us a lot and turned the ship around.
Aster or Liquid are next. Any preference?
I mean, of course I want to say Europe, but I got to cheer for Aster because I want at least one Chinese team to be top 6 guaranteed, you know?
Okay, wait a minute. Aren't you going to play the winner of Aster or Liquid?
Yeah, I would enjoy playing versus China. It's a better headline.
Okay. You're speaking my language, buddy. Congratulations.
Thank you so much.
Back to you guys.
All right, thank you very much, Casey and Snaking, and very...
adds Wraith Pact. Like, they basically reworked all the lifesteal in the game where it's doubled on heroes and does a little bit less on creep. So in the end, it turned out to be more effective against heroes, not quite double. The heroes that just stand there and fight you with these items are the ones that are being picked, and we can see the effectiveness of it in that fight. And it's the exact same reason why SF gets picked too, but it just seems like Sniper, Effie was saying this backstage, that Sniper just seems like a better version of SF right now.
Again, it comes down to this Sven having extra armor, extra 15 plus 7 from his shard, undispellable, and that most of the damage on Team Liquid is physical. Death Prophet ulti, you have Shadowfin with the right clicks, the fights become very, very difficult to take.
What was the way that Liquid thought to be able to deal with the Sniper? Because I think only the Mars came out afterwards.
I think they just needed to, so they did have a lead in the early game on Liquid. Their lanes went well, they had a couple of really nice rotations, but all it took was for Aster to take one fight without the SF when the SF was dead, for them to turn the tides completely, because their lineup was just entirely dependent on staying on their side of the map until they needed something, right? They were content to sit back and farm. It forced Liquid to smoke into their jungle, and that's when they utilized the power of the Pangolier, right? He just countered that gank in the jungle, chain stunned, you had the Sniper from a distance whacking away, and of course the armor of the Sven. It just felt really easy for them to do what they wanted. They were also able to hold the Roche areas when they needed to, right? That second Roche, they already set up all their vision in the Dire jungle. They had a really strong formation there, and Liquid had to smoke all the way into them from the bottom lane. They were more than ready for that one, so it just felt like Aster were one step ahead every single time.
Yeah, maybe they were prepared. Also, for example, for Boxy's Marcy, who tried to make some rotations. Here's Purge to talk to you more about those rotations Boxy made.
That's right. Aster did so good in the later stages of the game, but Liquid had a perfect early game. A lot of that was Boxy's Marcy. Yes, I got it. His first rotation here, Shadow Fiend called out for a nice teleport. Boxy ends up jumping in. He gets a triple raise off. That's the first blood. He ends up walking towards the top lane immediately afterwards, and the moment he gets there is the perfect timing. The Pangolier uses Swashbuckle. He's able to get the follow-up, and he body blocks to perfection, which gives his team a second kill. He even sticks around for a little bit more time after this, because CM is going to say, hey, look at all this free farm that I can take. And that's really good for him, but the problem is that sometimes that's going to lead to you dying and giving them yet another kill. So Boxy now been a part of 3 kills here, and we're not even at the 5-minute mark. And because they're playing this carry Death Prophet, your early game is even stronger in terms of your impact. So now Liquid does this incredible rotation. SF walks to the top lane, so does the Disruptor, and now all of their power is in the same lane. So they get this great dive off. They're going to kill Pangolier. They're going to dive and kill the other support, the CM as well, and they're going to take that tier 1 tower afterwards. So basically taking this early advantage that you get from the Marcy, they're turning into objectives that they're not supposed to normally get. And immediately after this, now Matoma Man says, I'm so far ahead, I can use my net worth to help the rest of the team. So he just TPs the off lane. It's like, okay, now I'm going to pressure where the Sniper wants to go. And this whole time, SF is way ahead in net worth, and it looked so good for them until that one smoke gank that happened where Aster crossed the map, they killed the SF, they took the mid tower, and then the game was even. Everything hard that they worked for got ruined by that rotation. So from there, Aster got to play Dota.
They got to play Dota, and it's crazy how fast something like that can indeed turn around, because it did start off looking so good for Team Liquid. They have to think about what they want to do for game number 2 to perhaps force out that 3rd game to this series. So they're going to get a break. We're getting a break. Normally casters get a break as well, but not this time around, because this time around Slacks and Casey are actually pestering them right now.
Hello. Yes, hello, we are here. Ladies and gentlemen, it is so cool to be in this arena. We want to show you what it's like being in the caster area. Guys, you're so close to the crowd. You're so close, I will literally show you how close they are. Here you go.
Well, okay, that was a fast, all right. Did you tell him what to do?
I don't really know.
Oh my God, he doesn't have a microphone. Slacks doesn't have a microphone. Everybody just drink it in. Okay, he's getting ready. Are you guys ready to cast him?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
we're getting ready.
You know, during our break time, like when we're not live, we'll usually just like talk about what you guys are doing. So if you like, you know.
It's a warm up.
Yeah, like warm up. We'll like analyze like food tactics, stuff like that, you know, anything they go for. Do you see Slats?
I think right now he's literally hiding behind a bunch of fans. Can you guys point to him out in the crowd? Can you point where he's at? Slats, you can't hide from us. You're trying to hide away. This is unbelievable. Jake every single time there. Now you see he's following behind a couple of people. This is the scary Slacks jaunt of death.
Is this a wraparound game?
You're about to die. Hide away, people.
2013.
Unbelievable. Now you can see right there, he's lifting up the crowd. He's waving away. Hello, how are you doing, sir? Unbelievable,
Real
the big jump, the big move. Now, Trent, can you break down a little bit for me what he's doing at this point?
This is a mating ritual that he's going with another participant right now in the arena. As you can see, kind of like those birds that do the big dances. That is also how Slacks goes for it.
You know,
Slacks is losing, though, unfortunately. He had to walk away. And a shame.
And next up right now, he's just literally stolen somebody's coffee away from them. That costs a lot of money, sir. Now, I think that Casey is about to go and get this guy back because at this point, he's starting to take him away. Oh, God. They're looking. Now she's running in. She's trying to chase him down. Casey trying to kill him off. She's got him up in the air. Oh, my God. Unbelievable. With absolute no regard for human life, Slacks takes down Casey. Unbelievable as they run it back through. We witness murder. Ladies and gentlemen, all you people here at Singapore, what a fabulous performance. We're going to head back to the panel now.
That was some top-tier play-by-play of indeed a human tackle happening in the Suntech Arena. Definitely no break for the casters during that one then, but the players do have a break, and I want to talk about that because they're preparing for game number 2 here. Aster looking hot in that first game. Lacoste, what do you talk about? And you get to choose which team you're going to be when you're going to talk.
Yeah, I think it's easier for Team Aster. Yeah. They do have the buff on land. They do have a coach that is called Land M, so things are much easier for them, you know, talking, especially after winning game number 1, you know, just do what you did in game number 1. We got a couple of different heroes here and there.
He's so good that he gave the between-game speech pre-game, which led to them winning the first one. Back to you, Schieber.
I thought you had some great stats on Lanham, actually.
I do have great stats on Lanham. He's been to 9 TIs as a player, and this is actually his first as a coach. So this is, you know, there's a few coaches that are, they've coached a lot of TIs, but this is like, this guy's been through the grinder every year, you know, he knows what it's like to lose and to win, and like, hey guys, yes, we won. This is a good team we're up against. Don't get too confident. We need to go into game 2 with the same attitude of game 1.
Yeah, and then on the flip side of that, Effie, we got 3 coaches on the side of Team Liquid.
Yeah, I mean, we've talked time and time again how powerful and how, like, family...
Oh.
Majestic. Say how family-like the Liquid environment is, right? They all feel like they're this giant family. If you follow them in any social media, it seems like their support system is out of this world, and they have each other to rely on even when times get bad, which is why they were able to make it this far, to finally make it to TI through the LCQ. I don't know how effective having 3 coaches versus having 1 coach is.
Well, they actually have 4, because technically BSJ is the Team Liquid streamer, and he spends a lot of time with them in the gym.
Then what about
Asa Butterfield?
And Asa Butterfield,
what about
so that's
Koikfa,
5.
6?
And Koikfa, 6. So they have a lot of... Oh, speaking of which, here's Asa Butterfield coming out.
Anyway, these coaches, obviously, they all do something different for Liquid, as far as I know. I think Jarex is the one who's helping with, is it drafting or gameplay?
In-game. So when we're looking at the draft, it will always be Blitz joining them for the draft for that?
And Jabs, I know, plays more of a motivational role as well, but he also helps with the analysis. Like, they all give different things to them, but they function as a unit. So I do think that what Liquid have seems to be working for them right now. It's just a matter of, will they bounce back from that loss? And I think that they will. They definitely have suffered far worse losses than that over the years. But to beat a team like Aster, you have to figure out a way to break their formation. Aster is such a formation-heavy team. They emphasize so highly on team fighting, on playing together, on holding areas of the map, and they don't really play individually like a lot of other teams do. So you have to figure out how to find the cracks in that kind of gameplay, and you have to do it now.
Yeah, it's pretty crazy to, you know, we just heard Perch talk about how strong Liquid was in the early 10 minutes, first 10 minutes of the game. They went so well, and then Aster still, like, at the end of the game, it still feels like it was a smackdown. So how do you deal with that? Because that is not, because that is not just draft.
Yeah, I think Team Liquid needs to get Radiant because they do have 87% win when they're playing Radiant.
That's insane.
That's so high. They did play Dire this time.
I think at this point, they maybe try to look to fit in their Pudge or their Lone Druid in this game too. That's probably the best thing that they can do right now, and potentially put Nikke on more of a playmaking type of mid, just to see how they can fight into Aster's tempo once they pick it up, right? Because the lanes for Aster aren't where the issues lie. It's afterwards when Aster finally group up. So if you can just pick heroes that can exploit that laning part and make it difficult for them to hit that stride to defend their high grounds, then you can potentially just run them over with something like a Lone Druid, right? You just take all their towers.
Yeah, Matumba played one game of DP during the group stage. So, obviously it's something that he can play, but it doesn't really seem like a Liquid staple like the Pudge has seemed to be one of their favorites. The Sniper, the Lone Druid. I guess those heroes are not only are they heroes that have like the flair of something like the Death Prophet as a safe lane, which other teams aren't doing. It's like they also just pick them more and seem more comfortable with it. So. I love the Pudge SF if they can get it. The problem is both of these heroes are arguably like first phase heroes if you do want to get them.
Or second phase banned.
The Pudge was second phase banned in the previous one because, of course, you look at Liquid drafts, every single time they go for the SF, they try to get the Pudge as well.
All right, well, we're going to find out what the teams have in store for each other in Game 2 of this series as we are heading to the draft.
Team Liquid's turn to ban.
Liquid versus Team Aster. Game 2.
So far, every series in the upper bracket, teams that started in the upper bracket, all have been 2-0s. It's been sweeps, and I really, really hope that we're going to at least have a little bit of a difference for this one. Or if they do 2-0, that it's a close game. We like the close back and forth. And then I don't really mind if it's a 2-0 as long as it's good though. I mean, a little bit of a positive. Give me a 100-minute game, 107 minutes. That sounds about right.
I think Liquid will come out swinging this one.
Well, let's see. They swing with the Marcy once again. We got a Liquid Strat coming out for Aster. Openings in terms of bans are a little bit changed up because Primal Beast is still in the pool, as well as Visage. Those are the two bans that Liquid did previously. And oh my goodness, they're going so fast across.
It is. It's going really fast. I mean, this is what coaches were talking about. They made the draft already pretty much. We also, like during the DPC, we talked about a lot about practicing, especially OG, because they did mention it a couple of times, I believe, when they talked about just practicing the draft. If they pick X and Y, we're going to do this and this. So that's one of the reasons why these drafts are going so quickly.
And Sandy was talking about it during ESL1 Malaysia when he was on panel briefly. He said that these teams, before they go into a game, their coaches spend so many hours just running through 50 potential openings of them. So they are prepared for almost everything that comes out. And when you see a team taking their time, it just is a discussion internally. Not that they're not prepared for it, but they want to go between some of the options that they're debating about between each other.
Yeah, and I think there's an element too of not wanting to overthink something that you've already broken down and analyzed. I mean, in True Sight, you can see a battle between the things that they had discussed before and new ideas that were happening in the series. So it is, of course, a balance, but especially I think it's true for the first phase picks because there are just much less permutations that can happen there. Where it's like, okay, we did the analysis. Like, let's just trust this. Once we get to the second phase, then we can start addressing some of the new things that we're seeing in this draft that we didn't address in the analysis because we couldn't because it's just too many permutations.
Yeah, I do want to point out I was wrong. Primal Beast is still banned out. I was just a little blind. That's all. We do have no.
Spawn is always hiding that.
It is. We do have Pudge banned out once again, and we do have the opening for Team Liquid. It's Marcy Shadow Fiend. They opened with it last time, but they believe in it still.
Of course, I mean, these two heroes are some of the best heroes you can get in the first phase, right? They got first pick, so of course they go for Mercy. I don't think any team in that position would not want to go for this hero, but Aster already had their response prepared. We saw a lot of teams go for the Lich yesterday versus Mercy, and this is mainly because the Frost Shield negates most of her damage. Most of the damage that this hero provides for the team is through her sidekicks, so Lich can kind of erase that, right? So it makes it so that there's a minus spell in Mercy's arsenal, if that makes sense. And of course, the Lushrock is an Ori specialty. It's what Aster have played the most during the group stages, and it's what enables their style of gameplay where they can 5-in.
It's cool that Sven and Lich are such different heroes inherently, but it seems that Aster is picking them for the exact same reason, which is just the armor versus Marcy. Like you were saying, I was not super convinced by the Lich prior to the tournament as a hero, but then you mentioned it, Effie, and then seeing it, it's like, yeah, Lich might go in and die, but he'll get his Chain Frost off and he'll armor somebody, and then Marcy can't just solo kill whoever she's going on, which she normally actually can do even as a support, and then you know that Marcy's going to be picked with another right-clicking hero, especially SF who has minus armor. Lit prevents all that, so does Sven.
One of the heroes that you definitely need to be careful about your positioning. You can't just run in and use Noah on someone, because that means you're gonna die. So it's all about using the Frost armor multiple times, plus getting an angle on a Chain Frost, and that's about it. Like, your laning presence is really good first couple of minutes, then it tends to fall off, then it, again, goes back up once you hit that level 6, but very difficult hero to play.
I feel like you could honestly consider, if you're Liquid, going for a Purge. Like, that's how good the Lich seems, is that you want to purge the armor. Maybe like Oracle.
They did ban out Shadow.
The SD would have been really good too, because it's like the permanent purge. You just, I'm going to focus this guy, you press R on him, and they die.
Exactly. Usually when you're playing versus this Lich, you just pray you get a Witch Bane or something that can just dispel it later on in the game, because the thing about Lich's armor is it's not one-dimensional. It has a lot of talents that bust it up. It scales with the game. It's not something that you can just itemize against in terms of like increasing your damage output, because you can do the same, right? The duration goes up.
The duration scales now too. It went from 6 seconds flat at all levels, I believe, to 5, 6, 7, 8. So 2 extra seconds on that. It's got such high uptime now.
Now, if I told you, Lacoste, that at TI, Lich and Crystal Maiden would be first phase heroes.
I would say maybe next year. I mean, I did expect some Crystal Maiden to be played, but not this extent. It's just the heroes too. When we saw the hero being banned in the first phase, also being first pick and like last pick, you know the hero's good.
It's all the Frost heroes except for Ancient Apparition. That one's well, Entity increasing the win rate.
I mean, that was AA with 2 Divine Rapiers.
And Moon Shards, I mean, that's pretty good, you know? Upping that win rate for sure. There she is, Crystal Maiden and Beastmaster to follow suit straight up. So we are still having the flex potential on the Shadow Fiend. So we're either looking for a Mika hero or for a Matu hero on the side of Team Liquid.
I think it just feels more comfortable for Liquid to play the SF on Mika. He just has such a stellar win rate with it from the group stages.
Yeah.
And it feels like Liquid styles, they just put a hero that hits towers on Matu. That's always what they do, right? Whether it was the Lone Druid or the Juggernaut when he had that phase, or the Death Prophet carry, what have you, it feels like that's what Matu does best as a carry player, and they just let Mika do that farming.
Matu, one of the few carry players that did not play Shadowfiend at this TI. He has a different variety of the heroes that you mentioned, like very specific, like the Lone Druid, Naga Siren as well. I mean, Naga definitely not a pick here against all this AoE damage that Team Aster has.
But already what Liquid have going for them that they didn't have last game was their offlane hero can buy Wraith Pact, right? Their Mars.
Yeah, it feels necessary.
Mars needs a lot of items before he can buy a Wraith Pact. He needs to be able to get a blink, oftentimes
Probably BKB, maybe even a refresher.
And at that point, you're playing versus a Wraith Pact and you don't have one on your team. We really saw that effect last game. Like, the Pangolier bought it, he didn't care at all, and it did so much for them. So, already looking better for Liquid.
You know what Terrorblade needs? More armor. Pair it up with Lich. He's literally immune to physical damage. So they do have a Beastmaster. Shadowfiend is a mixed damage, but having Marcy, like Crystal Maiden, they might be a little limited, especially the damage that goes through BKB. If they're not able to just focus down the Terrorblade, he could easily take over the game.
I think Liquid probably wants to put the CM with the Beast and just spam out axes in lane and play off of magic damage against the TB instead of putting some Marcy Beastmaster, which makes me think that the Tumbas hero will probably be some ranged hero that can play with the Marcy in lane. Or it doesn't have to be a ranged hero, but some hero that would like to play with Marcy in lane.
Is Sniper's available? Oh no, Sniper's banned.
Drow team's amazing here. It's really good against Lush.
Banned.
Oh, okay.
The only ranged heroes other than Death Prophet that he plays, I believe, is Luna.
Luna, but it's terrible against Terrorblade.
Yeah. So what are your traditional counters to the Terrorblade? The only one that comes to mind is a PL.
PL, but you don't want to play into Lesh.
No.
Yeah, that's it.
They covered a lot of stuff with this Terrorblade Lich.
Something cool that they could do, but we said that Matu still hasn't played the SF, but if they just put the SF on the safe lane with the Marcy and pick something like a Zeus for mid, they would have a hero that lanes well versus Leshrac, something that defends towers, and something that would absolutely crush TV. So from this angle, that's what's looking like their best option.
Even picking up something like a Storm Spirit, because there's a limited lockdown on their side, but I like the Zeus option a bit more.
I'm sure that Matu can play SF. sure he
Yeah,
can.
I mean, sure. Yeah, if you're at the moment a position 1 carry player at the international and you don't know how to play a set, you got a problem. I think.
But this might be the only team that might not be true for because of how much they lane swap. That's the thing.
Sure, they do run a Shadow Fiend safe lane sometimes, but then it's still Mickey playing it.
You could just have Mickey play it on the safe lane with the Marcy and then just give the TV counter from the mid lane to Matu. Yeah.
Sure. There was one interview stuck in my head during DPC when they picked the hero for Matu, and he was like, yeah, I did not play that hero for like 3 years.
It was out there. Yeah. That was actually at the major. It was at the major. He played it for the first time.
But he would play that as well. I mean, it's Matu. He's had a long career. I'm sure he knows how to play Shadow Fiend.
Yep. Another approach that Liquid could take is to just try to play really fast with like well, Lone Druid is banned, but they could go Death Prophet again if they're still feeling confident in that, and just try to end the game relatively early.
They are discussing what they're going to do here.
They don't have a lot of time left to do so, though, because this is already their reserve time.
What about some claws, like safe lane claws? Okay, heavy, physical on their side. But this also opens up the Roche for them quite a lot. Having Beastmaster, Shadow Fiend plus Ursa.
Yeah, objective central. Like this is nuts. If they win a fight, they can get towers. They can take Roche.
Also, Ursa's a great hero. One of the only heroes who can comfortably out-damage the Frost Shield, even though it's mostly physical damage, right? Because his scaling damage with the Fury Swipes is a little bit too much to handle. It also gives them the ability to just run out Terrorblade early on. But once Ursa gets this BKB timing, the supports are food, right? Lich is food, Snap is food, Flash Rock is potentially food, depending on his itemization. So it is nice conceptually, but I am worried that all of their eggs are in one basket, which is just this physical damage. Get the first stages, take them up, and if they mess up even once or twice, they have no counterplay.
That's the Brewmaster. Coming out for XXS.
It's one of his signature heroes as well. He does have quite a lot of them. Broodmother, Pathfinder, Legion Commander, and Brewmaster as well.
I like it. You just throw the Ursa up in the air.
Yeah.
It's a really good solution, as simple as it sounds. And it's also their Wraith Pact hero, which we talked about how important it is for a team to have. It also gives them that added bit of team fight. The only issue would be having to weather the storm of Liquid's early game aggression. There is a Beastmaster, but I think that Aster honestly has something really solid going for them.
Well, we're going to find out.
Yeah, Aster is cooldown dependent. Like you need Brewmaster ulti, TB ulti to be able to fight. Like even Snapfire's Kisses. On the other side, Ursa, Beastmaster, Crystal Maiden, like these heroes are able to fight all the time. Even Shadow Fiend, like yeah, you need a BKB, but you're not required to have Requiem for the fight to win it.
That sounds like an action-packed game. I know who I want to listen to when we're having an action-packed game. It's none other than Gunnar, Trent, and Lyrical. Let's head over to them for Game 2.
And welcome back again. We're here taking a look at game number 2. You wonderful people out there, what are you giggling at?
We didn't have the hand of God, the voice of God, so we just had the nice stare about it.
That's perfect. We do have a freaking awesome game, though. We've got the Ursa as the last pick. I was not expecting that one. I was thinking some crazy, like, Tinker or Magic Damage hero, and they're just like, no, we're going to go and run at Roches and take down buildings. They're going to make it work. What do you guys think of the draft?
I like Liquid's way more faster paced. I think they're actually able to group up and fight. They have Beastmaster for the Vision now. They have the Ursa to force Roche and take objectives. They didn't get Aegis last game, I think.
No, they did not.
So now they actually have the opportunity to kind of group up and ball.
Yeah, they certainly wanted it very clearly. Aegis would have been great for them in these circumstances. So part of the issue was they were required to go for these initiations to start these fights, and they had a hard time doing it because they were certainly at a vision disadvantage, and you're hoping to sort of get rid of that problem here with the help of that Beastmaster.
Yeah, I think the biggest difference with the Beast to the Mars is that even if the Beast doesn't buy a blink, the Hawks give you vision. So now maybe the Marcy gets a catch, maybe the Crystal Maiden gets a slow. It's sometimes a vision is a stun enough.
A stun enough. I like that. It's a good way to describe it there. And on the other side, for Aster, you've got a very different, in some ways, looking draft, and some things that are similar. So still running with that Lesh, and then a support that mitigates the physical damage. Last time it was that Sven with the Shard. This time, it's going to be that Frost Shield. And then the other big last pick that I think is really interesting hero nowadays, and what we've been seeing from it is this Brewmaster with the Aghanim Scepter build. Really cool stuff.
We've been seeing it pop up. There's kind of two different styles of the hero I've seen. One is that they just rush Wraith Pact, and they pretty much just play to drop Wraith Pact, drop splits, just no one takes damage in the fights, you just exist and you can't fight them. And the other is where they rush that Axe, and they play more of it just gives them a lot of plays. Either you can have the Fire Panda to farm, you have the Earth Spirit Panda to kind of just give you vision, give you a stun, or you have the Wind Panda which catches, it dispels. Very nice for a lot of the liquid heroes. Kills all the summons from Beastmaster, purges the Ursa, can lift the Ursa. The Storm Panda itself was actually probably the best thing about Brewmaster in this game.
Yeah, and that's very interesting too, because that's been a long talking point in terms of the Wind Panda and like this idea of like, oh, you can get rid of the summons and the dispels, but of course you were always limited to it being during the ultimate, and then in that downtime you didn't have those options. But now with the addition of the Aghanim Scepter build, it's actually something that can be far more reliable on the hero, and at this point it's actually brought him into being one of the more reliable heroes with a dispel.
Right. Yeah, which again, the Axe is where you can choose one Panda to always have, even if you're not in the ult. So you can just kind of run around the whole game with the Panda, and it's leash to you similar to a Lundred Bear, where if it goes too far, it gets silenced. But
look at that wall of text there. It is a very complicated hero, if we're going to be real about it.
Okay, here's my big advice to Dota players. If you think a hero's too complicated to play it, just play it.
Yeah.
Okay, you'll get better. Everyone has to start somewhere, so don't be scared of the complicated heroes, because they're really fun.
I think I just teared up a little bit when you said that, Trent. What a brilliant thought to end the day off.
Just don't be on my team.
Okay, all right, got it. Bill, you had to ruin it, didn't you? As we take a look at this mid lane, a couple of denies there coming out from Mickey. A similar story to what we saw before. And then the big mix-up again is that Terrorblade that got taken by Aster at that 4th pick for them. And I'm kind of a little bit concerned if this game goes later, what tools they have to deal with this. Is this a game where Terrorblade can just carry if it goes late enough?
It can. He's the type of hero, especially for Shadow Fiend. He can steal the aura, which is actually very, under talked about, where you just steal this minus armor aura from Shadow Fiend, and that's one of the big things. He does so much damage because of that, and now you have it. And he does do the same thing where he outranges these Shadow Fiend type of heroes, and he can kite the Ursa, but Team Liquid just does a lot of heroes that will latch on him and can just kill him either through Sunder or even after the Sunder happens.
Yeah.
Like the Ursa, the Beast, he gets roared, he gets attacked by the Ursa. Ursa presses BKB, and he's just kind of sitting there without much save.
It's not a safe looking Sunder this game. If it gets off, I feel like there's still a lot of concern that can be there for you.
Still have the stacks of Fury Swipes even after that Sunder, so.
The biggest reason, one of the big reasons they pick it in this game is Beastmaster is one of these zoo heroes. He has summons, he pushes lanes, he gives a lot of vision. And when you're constantly pushing lanes, the creeps just themselves give you so much vision. People are farming them if they're not. And so now that the fact that he, by himself, is able to summon illusions and kind of counteract that and even push into the Beastmaster without being there, it kind of evens up the vision game for Aster.
Yeah, it makes it so that you're not caught off guard as much by the Beastmaster, because they want to take you off even footing by just trying to upset your lane, so someone has to rotate and go deal with that. And so if you can do the illusions, you're gonna be a lot happier. And it's another case of potentially even getting an aura taken from a Beastmaster.
The biggest question is pretty much gonna be the tempo and speed of Liquid. They have Beast and Ursa and Shadow Fiend. They're all heroes that hit these very early 10-minute, 15-minute timings where once they get that, they're able to fight for the rest of the game. Just keep fighting, keep fighting, keep fighting, keep fighting. And Aster, again, this Leshrac, they always want to go Bloodstone. They always want to hit this nice mid-game timing where they're just constantly getting stronger and stronger. And whether or not he gets the Bloodstone in time is going to be the big question.
We'll have to watch for that. How his laning stage plays out right now, a little bit behind the SF. 17-5 versus the 12-2. Nothing to super write home about, is they're doing some more of the lane pull shenanigans up top there. And the other big thing to watch for is, are we going to get some stacks? Because both of these heroes deal with it really well. As XXS just getting beat down by Boxy. Marcy's still an incredibly strong hero, and you can see he doesn't even feel like he can connect that fully through. So a bit of a tough one. Will get the Cinder Brew ignited and follow up with the cookie, but you can see XXS just wants to keep farming. While Boxy is going to head off to the other side and maybe make that rotation towards mid.
Yeah, we see this nice move by Boxy. He does this a lot where he kind of pressures behind the tier 1 tower, either trying to aggress on the pulls or just bully the offlaner. Because of that, he ends up in the tri-camp. And now he's just behind the mid tower.
Chase, a couple punches, and Ichu able to pick up that first blood. So while everything's happened top, down bottom, take care of business.
And you can see even Boxy, he just secures the water runes now. So that Mickey's they're gonna try to fight in the water runes.
Oh, good stun. He seals it away. Bobica, but they pull him back. Ori, he's in some trouble. A couple more hits is all they need. Looking for the long range one. Can they bring him down? It is there. Mickey hits on 3. And Boxy, maybe even going to look for more from Bobica. We'll see how it goes. But that's going to be at least one of the water runes picked up for the SF.
Some flashbacks in the last game.
True.
Mickey had a really nice game. He was 4-0 in the early game.
Yeah.
He also killed the Lush with this Boxy rotation.
Boxy was all over the map again as well, securing kills everywhere.
This is the Marcy factor.
Yeah.
Anytime, every game, especially with Marcy SF, that's why we keep seeing this combo so much. Even past the sidekick mid-game of the Shadow Fiend timing, it's just the mid lane.
I think it's funny too because they also had these same wards, like through the river last game as well, spotting these rotations from Boxy, but Marcy's just so mobile that sometimes it doesn't even matter.
It's so fast. Even you can just TP and always be there.
They've actually watched Boxy walk his entire way up here, and he still might die.
They
This
take
would not
off.
be good. Oh
Good
my God.
kill as they bring him down.
They watched him walk there.
That's what needed to happen. It's a really strong combination, and playing together with that Ursa is pretty devastating. Now, this has come a little bit at the cost of Zai not having a perfectly great lane, but likewise, the other two aren't doing too well either. So, Terrorblade, good start. The rest of the heroes kind of suffering.
Yeah, Zai got 16-17 is one of the harder. He gets instantly counterpicked by the Terrorblade. He doesn't really get to ban. You're just kind of thrown there. He's like, have a great game, Zai. Just go, try to go even in your lane.
See you at 15 minutes.
Yeah, that's good enough. Just maybe press a Hawk. Give us some vision at some point. So, all in all, his goal is mostly just get the Helm of the Dominator. And at some point, probably kick the Terrorblade out of the lane with a rotation.
We'll watch for that one for sure.
And a lot of damage up there trying to go toe-to-toe with XXS.
And they canceled the TP too. So I'm not sure if anybody scouted that one or saw that, but Matapa going to be a little bit under pressure here if he's not careful.
Yeah, Boxy was worried that he was going to be dove, so he had to show up and said he just wants to lurk around mid because the 6-minute runes were coming up, but the positioning for Liquid just it was favorable for them. He does get the jump in there though at the top.
Round 2, Raze connects, another one is there. Mickey, when he comes out, this is going to be easy peasy. Walking right up close and personal. Mickey finds the kill, and yeah, Boxy's been the story. He's been doing everything.
This is also his first year playing 4, right? He just switches roles and he's crushing every game against Marcy. He just body blocks people. He always gets the rotations. Last game he had 3 kills within 5 minutes. Similar story here, 3 kills in 6 minutes.
Yeah,
they constantly move around the map.
4 is for the offlaners that they don't have the ego. They don't need the farm. They don't have to hit the creeps.
There you go.
They actually just want to kill people.
Chase, look for another. Have the pullback, dispose, couple more leaps, jumping around all over the place with this matchup. And XXS doing a good job of keeping his Snapfire alive. This combination of laners, they've been together for so many years and have each other's backs.
A lot of body blocks so far.
True.
Yeah, just constantly, everyone's just... you just see it, the evolution of Dota. People just get so much better at these little small moves.
They went in again.
Up
I
top.
think they thought Boxy was, Bobica was gone.
Chase,
yeah,
looking for the kill, get one. That's gonna be a hit. But Boxy did go down for that one. Man. Yeah, they just keep running at each other.
Full health, full mana. He's probably gonna TP mid.
Yeah. Make it, come on, spam it out. I'm coming.
Maybe look for another go onto Ori too if the opportunity presents itself. And yeah, immediately refill bottle there. And XXS being a little bit zoned out there by the Tumble Man.
Likewise though, of course, with Bobica going down, we'll do the same thing for Ori. Get the juices flowing and the arcane runes complete there. They're gonna find Insania. That's a juicy Crystal Main, and well, she's got wind lace, but she has no boots to lace, so she's still really slow.
That's true.
It's a 3v2. The 50-50, who wins?
Oh, Mickey gets it. Regen too. That would have been huge for Ori. And we'll head right on in and start stealing some of these camps away.
They play around the Shadow Fiend really nicely. They're always constantly bringing supports mid, securing his runes, but...
Now they're around the Shadow Fiend though.
Mickey in some trouble. Do have the rebound, but I don't think they're going to be able to keep him alive. So they do make a solid move by Aster. Take down Mickey. 9-5. And everything just happening around mid. That was a split too, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, it was a split, so... I mean, worth, obviously. Early split to kill a mid player, you'll take.
Zai is now level 6, he's holding his point. They don't really want to go to him before the Helm of the Dominator. So Monet's just going to kind of be very confident in his lane, farming up. Farm it very nicely. He's top of the net worth and the last hits. So it's going to be pretty much up to Monet. It's his choice of, oh, do I want to go jungle? Do I want to go top? We could even see him maybe in the next minute or two with the next split, TPing to the offlane, trying to pressure the Ursa out of the lane. Because again, Ursa does not jungle as well as a Terrorblade. So breaking down these safe lanes is kind of going to be the next big goal of these teams.
Well, they are bringing a couple other heroes up to the top side now. CM making the rotation as Boxy is already over there. Don't know if that's going to turn into anything.
I feel like Boxy's just trying to force a TP. Like,
yeah.
He's just been under a ward for a long time. They do come out and scale it out. Nice job from Insania. Gets the D ward there with the help of Courier. Doesn't have to waste his Crystal Nova mana because you need every little drop of mana you can get on the CM.
It feels like everyone's trying to force rotations without making them. Both of the supports sitting next to their carries in the safe lanes and they're poking, trying to make them be like, oh, we have to TP. And then that's when they flip the map.
Yeah.
But right now, everyone's just being very careful, being calculated. No one's doing anything too crazy. No one's diving towers.
I swear, this is the longest I've seen a TB in lane in quite a while. Ooh. I feel like every time I'm watching TB, he's getting set. I mean, he usually was like more of a draft priority, I guess, right? He was being banned more often, so now that he's picked a bit later, actually getting a chance to farm the creep waves is pretty crazy.
And in the meantime, Zai is just farming up that stack right there. A nice little injection of gold for himself as he's going to try and claim the rest of these. 3 points up in the axes, and the CM aura certainly helping along the way as there's also a good ancient stack there. So this is going to be the Helm of the Dominator coming out for Zai, while we are still waiting for that push out of that safe lane, and you can see that Monet has made a bit of a rotation into the jungle now.
So this game, Liquid is actually going to play for a slower timing. If anything, it looks like Batu is going to go for a Battle Fury on the Ursa. So they're playing to not feel pressured. The one really nice thing about it is now Brew cannot end his split early. The Axe doesn't give you the ability to end the split, so it's always the full duration. So once he gets BKB Battle Fury, he can just clear through the Primal split, and there's nothing he can do about it.
Big smoke down bottom, and Aster won't manage to find anybody except for maybe Insania here, who's hanging out mid. They run into him. Cookie won't quite connect, does have the split earth, but it's not there either. So Aster miss on everything. But Zai, in the meantime, you see he's going to finish off that ancient stack. They'll use the glyph here to take down the tower.
They're glyphing as well for the Radiant, though, of course, because mid lane, they got the Catapult, they got Shadow Fiend, and Boxy's hiding behind the trees, but it's a Brewmaster, and he goes instantly for the split.
And Boxy gets a little bit of a separation, haste away from SF. They're clear and clean and out.
He was trying to hope to dispel the haste, I think, but Mickey got away, and Boxy kind of made the space for him to be able to run.
Yeah, there was even a sentry down too in case he tried to go for like a Storm Panda play or something. It's the worst to like not get a kill with a Brew split this early. I feel like you defended the tower, right? It was a 1 hero rotation to ensure that it stayed up.
I think it also feels good just because they were able to make a move to their safe lane and take the tower. So again, now Monet's kind of, once you take this offlane tower, your carry's able to freely leave the lane. It's a lot easier to push the lane out so that you have way more time before your tower gets hit. Now he can just TP, he can farm the Ancients.
Snapfire ulti down onto Mickey, trying to catch him. Slowed down for the moment. Boxy under fire will get brought down, and Mickey dropped the Requiem. A quick connection for the kill. As again, supports die, but a bunch of big ultis used on Aster.
Okay, it actually feels crazy to me that an Ursa takes the 1.75 mana regen with a Battle Fury and a Crystal Maiden on this team.
Yeah.
It's really the reset time's that bad? Is that how bad that talent is?
It depends on a lot of the matchups in the game, mostly. It's more if you can't really latch onto a hero. I've seen it a lot for second Medusa, because when she pops her Stone Gaze, you have to reset.
Right.
Have the ability to take these really long fights. But I think Liquid's kind of hoping to just be able to roar someone, he gets on them, and that's all that matters. He just will kill them in a roar.
He just wants to spam. He just wants to farm it up on this Ursa, so Matu, just all the mana in the world for this bear.
And you can see that Zai also going for a little bit of an unorthodox build from what we've seen before on these Beastmasters, going 4-4-0, so not really opting to get that physical damage boost up. They still will get some good pressure onto that bottom tier 1 tower here now.
Yeah, a lot of the time where Beastmasters, when they're getting early picked, the idea was that you'd pick an illusion hero, because that would be able to kill the boars in the lane, and it would kind of, counter them. So the change was that Beastmasters started maxing axes because the illusion heroes have high armor but low health totals. So it's pretty much just a change to deal with the Terrorblade in the lane. That's why he was actually able to last it, and that's why his game is actually not terrible. If anything, it's actually better than the Brewmasters.
Yeah. Right.
So it was a nice adjustment to the lane in the game.
So Aster, as they move up towards the north, Boxy runs in above a cut.
The instant turn.
Everybody's afraid.
That tells the tale of this game, huh?
Yeah.
We're just relaxing here. Vision-wise, It's like we have a slight edge in terms of those deep wards. It's kind of been the constant throughout this whole match, but Aster feeling comfortable enough still to make this move to the top tower. Even the lack of vision, they can always just send out some illusions because they've got some questions.
Dire's top tower has fallen. Radiant's
Down
middle
bottom.
tower is under
Success
attack.
queuing up, trying to finish off that raid pack again.
Are fortified.
I think, again, this game, Liquid is going to be the team that's playing for controlling areas of the map. Shadow Fiend doesn't have a jump, Beastmaster doesn't go blink for a while, Ursa has a Battle Fury. They want to hold either their jungle with their Ancients, or they want to hold, you know, probably the Radiant big jungle in the bot lane. And on the side of Aster, they just hit their timings and they want to just keep going. Every time they have split, once they have this Bloodstone, once Monet, every time he has meta, he's able to walk into Roche, he's able to walk in towers. So we're going to see Aster's going to try to do a lot more of the aggressive plays, and Liquid's going to try to keep getting their timings, keep farming up, play a slightly slower game, but they always want to be ready to fight.
I feel like these fights are going to get pretty wild once they start happening, though. Like, like look how this Lich wants to play this fight, right? Yeah. This Chain Frost just bouncing around, as well as the Frost Shield, doing so much work in this game.
The Lich is a similar replacement to the Sven from last game, where it just kind of enabled his team to walk in and just never die to the physical damage, specifically from the SF. And now there's SF and Ursa, so there's so much physical damage that this Ori's able, with his Bloodstone, I think he can probably just walk into 4 or 5 heroes and probably survive.
And like they need to clump, right? Like the Ursa, the Marcy, and the Beastmaster, they tend to really get in there. And so
even all the summons,
that Chain Frost goes in there. Like hopefully the summons are gonna have to tank some of this up, right?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, that's going to be the thing that they hope to have happen. The other thing to watch for again is that whereas Sven in last game you had that AoE extra survivability, for this it's just that Frost Shield and a single target. So maybe can, you know, change up their target prioritization a little bit depending on how it goes.
Ooh, accessing.
Okay, they get out the ulti. Can they get away on Matumba Man? With everybody rotating in, this was a nice move by Aster, and they'll take down the bear. Huge kill.
This is where Liquid would typically run it out. They're hesitating, right? They're thinking about it. They say, go ahead, stop, go, stop.
Can they find one to return though? Insania right on top. The stun, it doesn't connect, but the Requiem very nicely played with the dispose. Double ulti for the kill, and now more chasing going on as they do have a stomp available. XXS kind of in a weird spot now. Connects with the stun. The rest of the team trying to catch up and get into position. They're a little ways away, but they got him. The pullback, have dispose for round 2. Pull him in. Insania's there. Cookie for round 3. Can they kill her off? Yes, they will.
And at the same time, Mickey takes that mid tower with the help of Catapult there. So Liquid getting a lot done in those moments after losing their Ursa, taking advantage of the fact that Bruce Split was down.
Another interesting adjustment I see is that Mickey actually went for a Falcon Blade this game. I think usually the Shadow Fiend, I think even last game he went for the Dragon Lance for the BKB. So I think that's also kind of an indicator of how they want to play. Generally you go Dragon Lance because of the value it adds when you push towers.
Just bitten off a little bit more than he could chew there on Ori. There's no SF, means not an easy chance for a kill, and of course, as we saw, the Frost Shield makes it tough.
But now Roche is starting to
and there's no secrets here. They're seeing everything with the wards they have down on Aster. So they're going to move their way right to the pit.
Starting to build up. 2 stacks so far. They hit him with both. Chain Frost round 3. Can they get him? Yes, they will. Ori goes down. Now looking for more. XXS backing away and does have to run.
Look at Boxy go.
X, dude, still chasing. He's so low. Such low HP. Boxy trying to get away. Might just be able to do the rebound. How is this hero fair? Oh my god. That was so sick.
Zai was trying to send in the Centaur as well to help.
That space created because this Roche is going down. And they're so close to finishing off. XXS wants to run in, but now they're committed. Monet chases forward. Good setup. Can they do enough for the kill? Mickey in trouble. That's 1 kill, 1 time dead. XXS brought down low. Insania doing a bunch with that ultimate. They pull back in that Shadow Fiend. Mickey, Requiem to buy a little bit of space to chase down. They keep on wanting to fight, but Tumble Man wants to alive. Chase dead. Monet. He doesn't have any more metamorphoses left. I don't think they can chase anymore, but Liquid, they win the Roche, they win the fight.
Oh, Boxy. This guy, I don't even know how he does it. No HP that entire fight, keeps coming back in for the rebounds, abusing those low cooldowns. And Liquid, I'm sure, getting a little bit worried there as that was starting to end, but taking down XSS and really, again, punishing the lack of ultimate on the Brewmaster.
They looked a little scary. Mickey's BKB was cooldown, so when he dies the first time, there's a chance they burst him, but no stuns I think were available. And also something...
This was so long ago now, it feels like, when this all began.
So much damage from the double damager. They actually just chew through the Frost Shield.
I think also you know, that's a moment where as a Lesh you might feel like you're safe, but as soon as that first raise hits, the second one comes in and you're slowed. Look at this.
50 HP, wands with 2 charges, gets back out.
Man.
Radiant's courier.
Then he returns twice more as well from Boxy, just absolutely ridiculous.
Well, and that's so important because the Marcy just being able to give that sidekick over to these cores is so much of what makes this hero insane in the later stages.
And it's what helped finish the Roche off, right? And then this is where things look scary. Tina gets to have a full ulti. Thing just keeps on going, helping to bring down XSS despite having the Frost Shield on top. And then manages to walk out as well at low HP.
I think one of the cool things, which is it's actually what started this fight, and it's why Boxy lived, is that he is a casual cloak. There's actually 3 of them in this game. Both Ori and the Lich, I think, yeah, have the cloaks right now. So you can see a lot of the teams have started to do, they pick a lot of these early game damage heroes. Even Shadowfiend does so much magic damage in the early game that just these casual cloaks can turn these fights. He has 50 HP. That's purely because of the cloak he buys. And it turns the whole fight around. Boxy being able to live there.
Yeah, well, he's feeling very magical right now as Mickey eyeing up the Arcane Blink as well to come up after this. Has the Fairies Trinket, so the full mage build is in effect.
Certainly, we would love to see a game number 3, as we always do in these pivotal matchups here for the upper bracket. See if it ends up happening or not, but a BKB completed on the Ursa. And the next couple of minutes, I want to see where this item progression goes for the Terrorblade. What he ends up looking towards next. That Scotty obviously really important for stopping any of that extra regen you get from the sidekick, steal all the rest of it.
Yeah, the Scotty really puts the pressure on your initiation as Liquid, because if the fight's not good, you don't get a great burst on an important target. That's where a Terrorblade can really start turning around this fight with that Scotty. So you just get kited out, you can't finish things off the way you want to.
It's probably going to be a BKB after the Scotty, just to never get feared by the Shadow Fiend. If you get BKB off before you get roared and the Lich armors you, you also probably won't die. You always get your Sunder off, but now we see a smoke from Liquid.
And that Radiant scan connected, so they knew this was coming, and instead they're trying to counteract it. They are going to make the call to head down for this bottom lane. They run right into Mickey. He will back out of there. Zai also still standing steady, but everybody just back behind the tower. Now, Terrorblade is not here. Can TP into the fight? Might be a little bit scary. Insania.
Just on the left track.
Root, chase, Mickey, big ulti, but he doesn't get it off in time to stop the split. It might still be enough. Matumbo Man trying to beat through those Brewlings, but they didn't get the Earth Panda. Now, Snapfire Ultimate still has Enrage. They get all the big ultis out. But the BKB
the worst for Aster. They used 3 ults, but they at least got the fight to be forced. They used Liquid to press their BKBs. They defended their tower, so they might even look to smoke up and try to catch the Shadow Fiend off, off guard.
Feels scary though without Bruce Split. It's not easy to have a good fight.
I guess the danger of having the the Leshrac and all the power that he can bring to the fight, if they can get on top of that SF, could be pretty huge.
They're just gonna play the game to get this Leshrac BKB. He's gonna get it at 300 gold, but yeah, this Arcane Blink on Shadow Fiend is pretty interesting. I think the idea of it is either A, to try to burst the Brewmaster before he gets ult off, or B, burst the Terrorblade before he gets spells off. It's pretty much just a bursting tool to kill one hero. It's similar to the Yule Future Travel Blink 1000 HP Shadow Fiends that were running around back in the day.
Those are still in all my games. What do you mean? Is that not cool anymore?
It's not as cool these days.
Well, apparently it's pretty cool.
He's doing no Yules. No Yules, no Boots of Travel.
Okay, fair enough.
It's a little mixture of a build. So this one, it actually scales relatively similar to how Physical does in terms of strength, but in a very different way. So
Foxy setting this up. Expose, big jump, big burst. Does have that Wraith Pack down.
So many Mercy. That's just
immediately just going to run away. But bottom lane, they're getting some good pressure onto that tier 2 tower. We'll throw up the Frost Shield to keep it alive a little bit more against the top of the board.
Man, they get punished for the lack of ability to chase as well. Without the Bruce Split there, they couldn't do anything. They just walked away. Like Marcy and Ursa, they're all just kind of hobbling up there with Terrorblade and Leshrac, and they just gotta watch them go.
Yeah, I actually think Ori might buy just a blink this game, just so he can blink BKB and try to force a fight to happen around his hero. Because Brewmaster doesn't really want to buy a blink. You don't want to blink in and then try to ult in front of the entire enemy team. Terrorblade as well just wants to exist somewhere in the back of the fight. And the supports are just ranged heroes. They don't want to go in.
Yeah, XSS's blink is just going to be him getting an Aeon Disc. And, hoping that lets him get his ulti off by just being in the middle of things.
More blinks in tow as the Ursa is going to finish his off. Coming out on the courier now. still hanging on to these mid towers too.
Zai has purchased an Aether Lens instead of Mana, which is pretty cool. It means that he doesn't have to enter the fight. It's a little different because now it seems like they're not trying to play off the roar. If you don't have a blink, it's hard to just say, I'm roaring this guy, go, go, go.
Okay, he goes right away. Toss shield, keeping Ori alive, all that damage mitigation. The stun comes forward, but they got him. The burst was there. Matumba Man was not prepared.
That shark cookie hop looks so goofy. Like a big old arc up in the air.
Sinister Gaze.
Pretty
This
strong.
smells so, it just like, the cast point of it is so fast, it always catches people off guard. I think even to this day, people are still surprised when they get Sinister Gaze by a Lich.
Yeah, I would agree. Usually they're like hanging back or they just die right away. You don't really expect him to be a Shadow Shaman.
This Arcane Blink is now going to be completed, and with Roche capable of respawn in another minute, we'll have to see what the avenue is that they want to go, but Shadow being queuing up the Aghanim Scepter afterwards, so max burst potential. An interesting option, and definitely going to need that Terrorblade to get into the BKB now and have reactions.
The level 20 timing is also very good when he goes Magic and Ags, because it increases the amount of time you can be feared. I think by like 1.2 seconds or something, max duration. And the fear goes back in. So once you Arcane Blink with an Ags, it's about 4.5 seconds.
Ori, they got him, he's dead. Completely destroyed. It happens in an instant. As soon as that stun hit, we knew.
It's funny because like Cookie's a save, but like even if the Cookie's there, I don't even think it's gonna impact in time, you know?
The travel time of the Cookies is slow. It's 0.8 seconds of cast point for the Shadow Fiend right now.
Just like that, you can see the value of this Arcane Blink. I don't think I've seen an item to get picked up and then used immediately that effectively before in a while.
Well, unfortunately for Liquid, it's not the dream scenario where it's an instant Roche or something for them. It's going to be a bit of time, but halfway the minute and a half timer.
You can see queuing up already some of the answers to this Arcane Blink. We saw the Aeon Disc coming out now for the Brew, and that's going to need to be the answer.
Radiant's middle tower.
But he's finishing up his BKB. He's just been kind of silent past couple minutes. I think he's just farming. He's pushing out lanes, dealing with the Beastmaster. And there hasn't been really much. Again, Aster doesn't have the greatest jump. Ori has queued up that Blink. He is going to try to be the guy who goes in there and starts the fights for his team. But they're just kind of hoping Liquid walks into them. And they're able to take the fights like that.
Yeah, I mean, it worked last game, right? You know, that's
true. Even on the bot route. Batu walks up on the high ground, they get 2 kills, and they just walk away and get more farm.
I mean, I think the big benefit and the change that we're seeing this time is, of course...
Pulling him? Okay, no.
Dead. Fucking all dead.
That's one dead now.
All dead. Everybody's dead. That's great. I'm glad we were on a similar page there. I think the big difference this time is, of course, going to be that Beastmaster having those Hawks get sent forward, so they get a little bit better vision before the fights start off.
Yeah, the vision from Liquid is really nice this game compared to the last. On the last game, they just kept blind walking the War, they blind walk to the Pango, he always gets roll off. Aster, the Brewmaster doesn't have the same instantaneous impact of the roll, where it's just constantly stunning. He's a BKB tier you can't kill. Even in this bot fight around the tier 2, the Shadow Fiend ult and almost kills the 2 pandas instantly. Even though he doesn't catch the Brew, he almost kills the ult. If the Ursa Panda is the only one alive, it doesn't do anything besides stand there.
Especially versus an Ursa. You know, if he spots that Panda, the thing's just gone.
Oh, for sure. Well, still playing around their vision right now. And Aster, they bring out another Blink Dagger. This time I believe this is Ori. So mass amounts of blinks, looking for the outplays. And as you mentioned, the casual cloaks here and there might turn those into bigger items eventually. Smoke up as they're going to head up north, as Roche has respawned. We'll have to see if there is going to be that big pivotal fight or not around this war.
See if the evasion can save XSS here. He's got the talent for the +1x brood up for the evasion.
Sense in danger, moves right in, finds everybody, 4-staff, gets some separation, will get hit with the stun. And that will be the death of the CM, but do they still want to fight? Dispose, pulls back XXS, looking for a chase, they buy back on the CM. TPing in for this fight, Mickey looking for the blink, they still keep them backing away, and XXS in trouble. Aeon Disc summons, thinks about popping the ulti, but doesn't drop it yet. Snapfire ultimate, 4-staff, separating this, Zai in trouble, roar, immediately Mickey gets it, the stun on everybody, but it's not going to be enough damage. Ori survived through it, they need to run away now, but Tumba Man TP's out, will manage to secure that one, but so much used by Liquid, and they still ended up losing that fight immediately into the pit from Aster.
It wasn't enough damage on Monet. He has the Titan Sliver, so it takes a little less magic, a little less stun from the fear.
They don't want to give this up.
This isn't how they want to go out right now. There's great vision here from Aster, though. Obs and Sentry nearby, going to spot those Hawks, see what's going on. They take it down immediately. Still in the pit, looking for their setup here. No Requiem.
Come on, man.
Play.
Jump forward. Boxy right on top. It's not quick enough, though. They went too early. Now the axe is getting thrown. Mickey in trouble. Right on top of him. Blows up the Shadow of Being a Matumbo Man. Does not have an option. This Frost Shield is impossible to fight in to for that Ursa. And Boxy, the Chain Frost bouncing back and forth, takes him down. Liquid committed everything for this, and they're going to get nothing.
Oh, Boxy. A little bit of help there from the neutral creeps carrying on that Chain Frost right from Insania to Boxy and the trolls nearby. Into the pit they go, and Aster, after on the backcourt, so much this game waiting for that perfect moment, they find it. What a great way to beat that entire fight staring the outpost.
Unreal, and a little bit of that early commitment there ends up getting punished.
That blink, I mean, you can see the big difference it's making for Ori, right? He's able to get into the most important part of that fight right now and force all that attention next to Mickey. Leaves Monet sort of by himself. He can clean up some of these summons that are nearby. And once they take care of Mickey, even with the buyback, he can't get back in time.
I mean, the biggest question now, I think, is the Ags is really important. Mickey needs this Ags. It does two things. It makes the fear come back in after it goes out, and it also reduces the cooldown, which means that you keep using every single fight. You don't have to worry about it. And the biggest thing as well is that they use the Shadow Funeral and they don't get a kill.
Yes.
Yeah. When his whole build is centered around using the ult and you use a stun and you don't get the kill, you kind of feel bad. This re-engage fight at the Roche pit, he doesn't have BKB, he doesn't have ult, or he just blinks on him and he has no place. He doesn't have the physical damage to deal with him. He doesn't have a pike. He doesn't have a way to kind of disengage from the fight, so he's just stuck there.
1,500 more gold for Mickey, and we'll see if that's going to be enough to get him where he needs to be. Does hit that level 20 now, but still not an easy position to be in. As Monet runs into the SF, no way to break that TP, obviously. And man, yeah, this Lich, you choose so many of these times, has been the difference maker, it feels like. You talked about that Frost Shield on the Leshrac. There really hasn't been an answer for it.
It's just really nice versus all the Dire Heroes, and the adjustment they made with the Arcane Blink is really nice versus it. It gives them the magic damage to kill, but it hasn't really been enough, and it's actually just been enough to deal with this Ursa.
Yeah, it kind of reminds me of just like last game where they sort of had a good idea in terms of like how to make it so they're not under so much pressure, but by going for this magic build in order to solve that problem, it actually recreates that pressure issue through the ultimate, since it's so dependent on that to work. And I guess it just comes back to vision again, right? It's like make sure you get that perfect setup. Everything goes right now. Speaking of vision, it does
no Lich there, and he is dead. Oh, wow. Brilliant play. Immediately get in there and find him.
Ori got away with that the entire time last game, right? He had so many flippish moments exactly like that where he'd be in the tower completely by himself, and now they have that big burst damage.
Well, this game's still on a knife's edge. They have the Aegis on that Terrorblade, but we've seen the power that you can have with both split push in this game, as well as just one big burst if everybody is not in position. So Aster gets punished. A DD rune spawning bot though.
This is the same timing Aster had last game. Monet just picks up a butterfly with an Aegis. He's probably going to look to wait for Ori to get alive and then try to maybe even push the mid. Frax, I don't really see a way from them to kill him twice. I think to kill him once, they have to use the Shadow Field, and that means that when he respawns, he's kind of free, especially if he hasn't used his BKB.
Yeah, feels like it's one of those situations where maybe you can try and get everyone around him.
Boxy needs to get in towards some help. Cookie forward, but the jump away, and as y'all mentioned, the Aghanim's completed. And Disc still sitting there on XXS. You can see that still a very even game here. And Brewmaster is getting into that Aghanim Scepter himself next. And they will kill off all the creeps.
Yeah, at the same time, Aster doesn't feel the need to force plays if they don't feel comfortable taking these towers, taking this tier 3. Because, again, they still have a Terrorblade, they have so much of the map under their control, they're still kind of getting a gold advantage. So, their lineup scales. They're not on a timing. I don't think either of these teams are actually on a timing. Both of them are playing for different items, different levels, that the 25s are really strong, so it's kind of up to whoever's feeling the strongest at the current moment who's going to want to take the fights.
Both supports behind as well as XXS, but Monet in very far. Gonna get stunned. Matumbo Man goes forward. They don't want to drop the Requiem for nothing. Rooted, Manta. Matumbo Man trying to deal with these illusions as Monet down to half HP. And a chance, a burst, and oh, with the Sunder, it came out perfect. There's going to be the fear. Matoma turns the sidekick, keeping him alive, but the Scotty is doing too much. Slowly burning them down one by one. They need to jump in with Mickey in a second, but I don't know if they have the damage. Mickey thought about it, gets the blink canceled, has to run away. They buy back on Matoma Man. They're coming in for the racks as Aster want to siege this down and take a substantial lead in this game. 8K gold lead already. Monet builds it up, meant to touch to get away. They don't have enough. Sunder 7 seconds off cooldown. If they're not careful, he's just going to be able to get another round of it. And in fact, he's just going to walk away. Aster come in, get what they came for, secure that first set of racks.
Actually just like teasing with the Aegis the entire time there, right? Trying to come into this bad fight, so you can jump on Monet, get you convinced that, okay, we can get the kill without using the Rec Room, right? That's what we need in this case. But Aster the entire time through the series, like the way that they read the fights, it feels perfect. They correctly analyze the threat levels that are coming from each of these heroes and the positioning by Ori. Like I feel like he's playing on that perfect little bit of risk, right? He's assessing where can I blink in where I'm so close up to my allies, but I'm creating a major problem inside Liquid. And that's what happened to Zai. He just blinked on top of that fight, forced to throw out a roar. They couldn't coordinate any of their efforts. That's what gives them the racks in the back.
It's also, they use the Aegis at the most annoying timing to push with an Aegis.
Yes.
There's about 50 seconds to a minute left on it.
Oh, yeah.
So you kill him and you're like, okay, well, we just wasted spells. We didn't gain anything from this. It's not like, you know, he had 4 minutes left. It's about to expire, but then if you don't deal with it, you just take the racks for free.
Of course, that is what ended up happening this time around. It's going to set up for most likely another pivotal Roche fight for the next couple of minutes here when that does come back around. But a 10K gold lead. Aster was able to secure off that with a couple of buybacks spent to boot. Liquid, you got to be feeling a little bit afraid at this stage. But they do get the BKB completed on the Beastmaster now. Many BKBs online.
It feels like this next Roche for Liquid is the big one.
This Roche is really important just because of how kind of committal Liquid's lineup is in terms of they need a BKB versus every single hero on Aster. They need to use Shadow Fiend ult to get a kill. They need to use Roar to get a kill. So anytime they have 2 lives, they have buybacks, they're fighting, even if they're fighting in the Aster base, it's really scary just because of the amount of stunts that Aster has compared to Liquid.
And Liquid currently no gem, so no way to try and go for D-wards or anything, and there it's a pretty valuable vision still remaining inside of Aster, so we're spotting out like when Zai's rotating through those Ancients. Could give them the edge when it comes to prepping and setting for the next Roche fight. Scythe as well there too, so all a similar timing here as well for that Aegis, but halfway through, so see if they can find that positioning, and the update list is there delivered.
And you can see the Hawk scouting for the Roche respawn time. It is a minute away right now. As Aster going into the pit, they check it. That was spotted by Liquid. And it does look like they'll have at least a little bit more time now to get in towards those items. Not sure if it's going to be enough, as you said.
Also something cool is Monet has a Blink Dagger. So I think his idea is even if you blink on the Shadow Fiend, if he doesn't get the Arcane Blink buff off, his ult is not as strong. You can't use it as fast, and you gotta force it so once Shadow Fiend can never get gone on if they want to win the fight. He can't get clipped by anything that cancels his blink. He can't get hit once by the Shadow Fiend or slowed or anything. He has to be able to be like completely free and get a jump when he wants to get the jump. So all these blink daggers on Aster now, both the cores of the Lesh and the Terrorblade are going to kind of cancel that out.
It kind of, unfortunately, feels like a lot of their cores feel that way, you know? I mean, I guess Sai is the one who can maybe be in there a little bit with the help of some creeps.
It's pretty much the only one. And of course, you see those Hawks flying over the top. They do scout out that Aster is sitting in the exact same spot where they were last game. They get into the MKB for the Ursa. A couple of other items getting picked up.
They're putting down floor rugs. They're hanging some nice decorations. They're also great to chill with family, you know? Really furnishing the environment. It's nice.
But there's a, interesting. The Timeless Relic is given to Insania, which is really nice for his slows, and then the Spell Prism for Mickey.
Looking for a big wraparound here from Liquid as Aster on the other side of it. We'll have to see if they want to head on up and find a way in the pit, but the Terrorblade already seen that Roche is back up. Monet's just going to keep fighting. They're waiting for them to come to Aster.
They just need to catch the right hero on Aster. If they catch the Brewmaster, sad, he has Andas. If they catch a support and you have to use your ult on him, it's also kind of sad because now you can't use him on the cores. So you have to catch the Terrorblade or you have to catch the Lesh. Aster's just in such a nice position that Terrorblade illusions are breaking everything so they can't sneak Roche. They're playing under their ward, they're playing as 5, so you're going to constantly have to walk into the team. They're even pressuring the base with the illusions. There's just so many things that is kind of pulling Liquid apart just around the map.
He also just hit his buyback as well. On Monday as well, so that very small window that could have been hazardous is now gone too.
A minute and a half left on Ursa's, but doesn't have the gold to get there once it comes back up again.
It's actually impossible to jump in first. Look at how he's sitting. He's got heroes on both sides. He's ninja geared there. Just smoked up, hanging out, making sure that the Hawks don't spawn anything. He's not the guy you're gonna get. They fully recognize this is the only way they lose this fight.
This is the most defensive play that I feel like I've seen from a team in forever. It's because they know.
And that's after last game.
Exactly, right?
Exact same thing.
They know that this is the only way it works, and there's creeps hitting the tier 4 towers. Like, Liquid need to deal with this. They're literally gonna lose their base if they don't make a move. And Liquid, they just can't. They're stuck in a chokehold. Matumbo Man heads back, and now they're all alone.
The second they see the TPs, they just walk in the Roche.
Aster, ready to go. Matumbo Man and the rest of them are going to need to get back out close and quick, but it's not going to come quickly enough.
I believe it's Shadow Fiend himself who says, outplay. You know?
Unreal.
That's how this feels.
Such clean Dota being played by Aster.
Oh, he wants that Agnes Blessing. He's taking it.
And now, smoke up from Aster. We'll see if they make the move.
I'm the Shadow Fiend now. I got the Terror Wave.
They find one. It's XXS. That's not who you want at the start. Ori moves on in. BKB already on Matumbo Man. Runs away the Terror Wave. Walk forward. The frost shield. It's not quite enough from Matumbo Man. And now the Hex. The turn. They chase him.